everyone, my name is Helena, and today I'll be doing my presentation on Mary Logan Reddick. Mary Logan Reddick was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1914. She graduated from the Laboratory High School and started majoring in biology at Spelman College in 1929, only at the age of 15. During school, she learned how to use chickens as a proxy for human development. Human embryonic development is known to be hard to study both morally and technically. However, fortunately, we can learn about its basic principles by studying the way other animals develop. Mary Logan Reddick performed cut and paste experiments where she would take a small group of cells from one developing embryo and place them into a new location on another embryo. She would then observe to see what became of these cells. In some instances, the embryos that received the transplanted cells would develop normally, but other times she would observe that organs didn't develop quite right. Throughout her high school and college years was just the start to her research journey to finding answers to questions she and others had as far as how do cells know what to become when they do, and how does this happen? Currently, with myself being 15, I can't even start to imagine the amount of hard work Mary Logan Reddick had to put in. After attending Spelman College, she graduated with a bachelor's degree in science in 1935. So now we have Dr. Mary Logan Reddick. With the help of this degree and other high background qualifications, she became a neuroembryologist. Neuroembryology is defined as the study that integrates descriptive morphogenesis with molecular genetic programming to understand the development of the nervous system. Dr. Reddick focused her research on understanding how a fertilized egg becomes a complex organism.
Due to a desire to make people aware of accomplishments of Negroes, Dr. Carter G. Woodson created...
Don't you mean African Americans, Mr. Webb?
Well, in 1926, when Dr. Woodson started Negro History Week, that was the name African Americans were called, among other things. In February 1976, Negro History Week became Black History Month.
What's the chance of the month going back to just a week?
Yeah, that's cute, Miss Jones, but even if it was a week, it wouldn't get you out of this assignment.
Oh, man.
Starting in the 1910s and ending in the 1970s was the Great Migration. Approximately 6 million black people moved from the American South to northern, Midwestern, and Western states. Such a large-scale movement happened because individuals were seeking for better economic opportunities due to industrial job openings. This event occurred for all of Mary Logan Reddick's life. Next up is the Black Wall Street event, which occurred in 1921. The Black Wall Street event was the destruction of Greenwood and the assault on its citizens, beginning on May 31st, 1921, was called the worst public disturbance since the Civil War. At the time, Greenwood was very likely the most prosperous black community in the country, and Tulsa, aka the Magic City, was one of America's fastest growing cities, an oil boom town following the 1905 discovery of the Glenpool Oil Reserve 15 miles south of town. Lastly, I will be talking about redlining and the effects on Atlanta as it being Mary Logan Reddick's hometown, and then I will transition into the redlining of Chicago. So, redlining began in the 1930s and it is still present today. In the 1930s, the federal government's Homeowners Loan Corporation, also known as HOLC, graded Atlanta neighborhoods based on their perceived risk for lending. This racist practice, known as redlining, helped create and maintain segregation in Atlanta for decades. Now to get into Chicago. In the 1930s, Chicago was a center of redlining, a discriminatory practice that denied or limited financial services to neighborhoods based on race. How exactly did redlining work? Banks and realtors marked neighborhoods as hazardous and undesirable. Residents of red-lined neighborhoods were often denied bank loans and insurance. This severely limited housing opportunities and created generational wealth gaps. Although redlining was outlawed in 1968, its effects still continue to be felt today. In 1952, Dr. Reddick became the first woman to receive a Ford Foundation Fellowship to study embryology at Cambridge University School of Anatomy. Overall, Dr. Reddick has paved the way for future scientists and doctors like myself with her significant studies and finds.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it, screams from the haters.